and you could fail it and fail it, and then your brain will can switch and say, don't continue, like just stop. But then it's having that perseverance to continue and overcome something that on the first couple of attempts you might not get through, but in the third and fourth you complete it, and then it gives
Mm.
you that confidence to know you are capable. And it's just little battles that you can win within a race, and it makes you just stronger mentally and lets you know that even if you fail something, you can come back and complete it. Okay. So my name's Shyla. I'm from the UK, a place called Slough, and I'm probably more known for my appearance on SAS Who Dares Wins. And then I got into obstacle racing about a year after.
And what was your like? What was it kind of like your fitness background before OCR and before SAS?
So before SAS, I used to play, well, I still play a bit, but I play football. So it was mainly playing football and just going gym in general and just keeping fit. Yeah, just having fun in the gym.
And then, like most people go to the gym and train, but very few people will, decide to go on a reality TV show and also get into obstacle course racing. So what was it that drew you to those?
I guess it was a time of my life where I was sort of, I've always, in a way, been kind of driven by fear, if you, the best way to describe it as such.
Mm.
I never really stepped out of my comfort zone. Like growing up, I've always been good at sports and like physically fit and stuff, but then I never pushed myself to challenge myself. So I just one day I was just sitting down and I used to watch SAS a lot and it was one of my favorite shows, but I also knew that everything on the show was a level of fear and something that would challenge me. And and I wasn't sure how it would test me mentally, so I was going through like depression and just struggling with anxiety. And then I just thought, to to tick a box and just put myself out there, fill out the application form, and didn't think I didn't even think anyone would read it, let alone me go through the process of getting on the show. And then I ended up on the show itself, and then yeah, and it just went from there. And then so it was like an unreal experience in the fact of I didn't expect to appear on it, and then I eventually just kept pushing myself through the show, facing like fears, whether it was heights or just general challenges within the course itself, and just seeing how mentally tough I was because physically, I kind of knew physically I could keep going, but you never know how
Mm.
your mind's gonna cope in that, especially that sort of scenario because it's you're getting pushed to your limits and the way how you're treated within the show, the way how they speak to you, they push you to overcome stuff and go above your limits because a lot of the times your mind will give up before your body sometimes gives up. So it's about knowing to that you can keep going, that you've got a little bit extra in you to keep pushing no matter what the challenge is ahead of you.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the phrase that kept coming up, this lady was talking about like overcoming. She had this kind of she'd had an accident, and the accident had caused her some kind of neurological issues. And one of the tips that the doctors gave her was run to the fear. And I was like, wow, that's like I love that
Yeah,
phrasing. And you've kind of like rang that bell again, like run to the fear, and that's kind of like overcoming, things like depression and kind of just self confidence, right? So
yeah,
is that the obstacle course racing? So once SAS finished shooting, you needed to carry on with that kind of mentality. So was that where
yeah,
the obstacle course racing came in?
yeah. Because I finished the show and obviously I got to the end and then the DSs selected me as like somewhat as one of the winners. So I kind of after that it was like continue on that sort of path of doing stuff that you may not feel good at or feel like confident in yourself, and it might take you out of your comfort zone. And mine was like the social anxiety aspect of it and being around big groups. So in the UK, Ninja
Mm.
Warrior was off TV for quite a while because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm.
when I left the show, I went and embarked on a lovely little challenge with one of the girls who was on the show as well. And then we I saw the application for the show that they're re-airing it, and it was going to be back on TV. So I just applied for it. I thought I've always loved Ninja Warrior, but at the time before SAS, I was just scared to do something like that because it's it's a different scenario to how SAS is structured because you're in front of a live audience if you get on the show, and it's something that the area I'm from, you don't have the opportunity to train those sort of stuff, and it's not as widely like advertised that side of fitness. So I wasn't even really aware of any fitness centers that done ninja style training until I applied for the show and then done a little bit of research and found a center that actually was solely focused on ninja training. And then I got on Ninja Warrior, and then it obviously opened my eyes to the ninja community and how big a world it was. And then from that, it linked onto the OCR side of it that there's another aspect of you run, you go through different obstacles, and it just made and it in my head it was like that's the kind of challenge I want. I was building up the strength to be able to get across obstacles and hang off stuff and get through courses, but I wanted to push myself a little bit further and add in the running side to because it's like the ultimate fitness of you have different strengths and you might be weak in one thing, but it's just actually trying to get better as an all-round obstacle course racer in that aspect, and that's how it led me into the OCR world. And then yeah, just continued from there.
So how much of OCR is like for you? Is it a metaphor for literally getting over life's obstacles, and how much of it is just play?
I'd say a lot of it's play, um, and then some of it because obviously every course is different, and some courses have water elements. And with me, I've never been a strong swimmer. I'm still not a strong swimmer, and
Mm.
so deep water such and like maybe going off 'cause sometimes you go in slides that take you into the water and that sense of like the fear of heights and stuff and then going into another fear into water, it makes a race a challenge for me because it's a bigger obstacle for me to get over because I love the
Mm.
suspension obstacles and the different attachments, and that's probably my strength in the courses, so that's more the play for me. And then the running
Mm.
and the swimming, like I've always been able to run because of the football background and just general fitness, but pushing yourself in running. And as a lot of OCR racers like to say, being in the pain cave, which not everyone wants to be in the pain cave, and I'm still challenging myself to be there because I tend to I describe myself as I cruise around courses, and I have like an element
Mm.
of where I'm not 100% pushing myself in my running as such, so I'm not dying, but I can keep going on. If you give me an obstacle after obstacle, I'll just keep going and it just be fun, fun, fun. But so it's a mixture. I just love playing on the rigs and stuff. So the running, adding that into it and having to push yourself to get around, especially the longer courses, because some of the courses can be really long, which have like long stretches of running and minimal obstacles. And so it's that mentality of knowing that you've got to do the thing you might find slightly uncomfortable to get to the thing you love doing.
How much of OCR appeals to the young Shyla, like the child Shyla?
It appeals to the young Shyla probably a lot more, not in the sense it doesn't as much now, but as a kid, I was just I was just known as I could just run forever and just loved playing and hanging, and as you said, like about gladiators and stuff, that was me watching that show as well and just loving seeing like them go through the hanging versions of the course and the swinging and the battling the
Mm.
gladiators to get through the course and just that element. So I think if I'd got into it at a younger age and it was more the word I'm looking for, if it was just more known as when I was a kid that that was something I could do as a sport, I feel like the younger Shyla would have just yeah loved it so much and excelled even more. Like a lot of people, and I class myself as pretty good, but a lot of people say I'm like the way how I've come into the sport quite late, but I'm still extremely good at it. I think the younger Shyla would have excelled even more, and yeah, been been a beast.
What's your would you so other than the water and the heights, what would you say is your other weakness in OCR? What would you reckon the young what would the young Shyla have kind of had the benefit of training earlier in when it came to OCR? What weaknesses would she be able to overcome?
I feel like the younger Shyla, the running would have been, if I could, if the younger Shyla could tell this version of me now, it would have been, don't stop running. Don't stop like that element
Okay.
of fitness, because as as much as I never trained running as a kid, I did a lot of stuff that involved me just running around a lot. And in school, I was just, the teachers was just like, if it came to sports day or any sports event, they'd chuck me in every distance of races, and I was comfortable doing them all. So I'd
Mm.
say like, don't give up that element of being a good all round runner, because I think football there's still a lot of running, but it's a lot more that explosive stop start. So just keeping the that strength endurance in my running would have been a benefit to me now. I'm still a pretty good runner, but it's just those elements of the being able to go longer, but just keeping the speed in my running as such.
You hinted at it earlier. So if OCR was like much bigger and well known when you were younger, would would that have kind of trumped football? Would you have preferred to have done OCR over football?
Yeah, for sure. Football was just a sport. As I said before, I was just naturally talented at like a lot of different sports, and football was just easy accessible. Everyone knew about football. Not as accessible for
Mm.
girls as when we were younger, but it was something if you like hung around with the guys, you'd always play football. It was just one of those sports. There was always a ball about, and it was just easy to set up anywhere. You could be anywhere and just play a bit of football. So I feel
Mm.
like if obstacle course racing was something I knew about from a young age, it definitely would have been something I would have preferred to actually push myself along. Football was just something I could do.
Okay. And where's OCR taken you? Like what could like before we tried to set up a call before, but you were jet setting across the world to do a course. So like
Yeah.
where else is it? Where is it taking you in the world?
So the last place when we were trying to set up the call, I ended up in Croatia, in Hvar, for it was part of one of the Spartan World Championships for the short course, the sprint course, which is the 5K, and the 100-meter course. So our federation selected a few athletes, and I was part of the team that got to go out there. Um, I've been Spain a couple of times. I went um, Italy, Belgium for like Euros and Worlds. I always forget off the top of my head. I'd done a comp, like it was a mixture comp in Dubai, where it was like to do with obstacles, but it was like a team version where you work
Mm.
together as part of a team. So there was less running in that one. um,
Mm.
yeah, and then I think where else? There's been a few other places. I'm always rubbish at getting off the top of my head. Oh, sorry, I went to Sweden for a comp, um, Norway. Yeah, there's been a few different countries that I've appeared in, which I'm like
Mm.
grateful to the sport, because at there's times you think I wouldn't have ended up there. And I was also at Costa Rica, and that's a country I just never would
Mm.
have expected to have flown to, let alone do some racing out there.
So that's brilliant. So it's like it's opened you up kind of character wise, like overcoming these obstacles, like kind of giving you that kind of physical metaphor, and then it's like opened up your world in terms of where you've traveled to and all of that, which is awesome. Um, like, what other benefits would you say that OCR has given you, and what benefits do you reckon people could, if you had to be the ambassador for OCR and say to people, look, this is what you can accomplish, or this is what you can kind of benefit from, like what are those things that what are the kind of the top things that kind of come to mind?
It's probably a mixture of things. Like it's like a whole new like for me personally, like it's a massive community, and like the whole community is so welcome and so friendly. Like no matter what country you go to and what language everyone speaks, like it's like you all speak the same language in a way, that because there is language barriers, whether you're in Spain or meeting people from Portugal, like all different countries, and you all understand each other to a degree. So you get to meet people from all different corners of the world, and you all end up in one place competing. And it just gives you the confidence to know that you can accomplish something. Like, even if you fail on a course or like certain obstacles, you can go to another race and the rigs might be set up slightly different, but you've always got that opportunity to keep challenging yourself and pushing yourself to get stronger, to be able to complete courses and maybe get faster on a course or just feel like you've got stronger because there are similar obstacles that you will face time and time again. And some people might, I struggle with some things, and you find that you see yourself overcoming them and getting stronger. And even like the water elements of the races for me. For instance, when I was in Havar, there was two big swimming sections, or three big swimming sections. But and I struggled on the first one to the point of I actually nearly drowned, but I survived and I got through the course. And for me, that I had to overcome knowing I had to get back in the water and then to complete the race, because part of me wanted to just stop at that point because the fear of water and knowing I'm not strong in it. And so my part of like you get anxious, and I had like a mini anxiety attack where it was like, I don't know if I can continue. But then I kept going and I got through the course. So even though I didn't run it as fast as I wanted to and do as well as I knew I could have done if you taken away the water elements, I felt accomplished because I overcame something within the middle of a race to push myself to finish. And it's just little battles, like, because there's some courses where you get multiple attempts at rigs and you could fail it, and then your brain will can switch and say, don't continue, like, just stop. But then it's having that perseverance to continue and overcome something that on the first couple of attempts you might not get through, but then the third and fourth, you complete it. And then it gives
Mhm.
you that confidence to know you are capable. And it's just little battles that you can win within a race, and it makes you just stronger mentally and lets you know that even if you fail something, you can come back and complete it.
Nice, nice. And is it obvious to friends and family that the confidence that you picked up from OCR is like bled into other aspects of your life?
I think so. I think everyone sees how much like fun I have on it, and just like even my training, and just because I've always loved like going to the gym once I got into like just training and working out, but just adding the element of being able to train on obstacles and just having fun. Like, you'll go training and you'll set up certain rigs, or the coaches you work with will set up stuff and you'll fail it, but you just have fun in being around your
Mm.
teammates and different athletes from different teams and just playing and creating little challenges. And yeah, and I think that everyone notices and sees that.
But because of the fun element, I just had a thought there. Because of the fun element, how competitive is OCR really, or how competitive do you take it? Because if you're enjoying yourself a part of the course, like, is there a bit of you that's like, is there a bit of you where the playful side just takes over a bit too much and you forget that you're in a competition, or like how does it work for you?
I think when I first started, it was more just having fun and just experience and learning about the sport. And then this year, where I
Mm-hmm,
say this is like my first full year of racing in the UK, like we have like a UK series.
mm-hmm,
So this is like being my first year. I still, people are, a few of our UK podcasts have put me as like one to watch. And in my brain, I was like,
mm-hmm,
I'm new. I'm still just learning about my own race
mm-hmm.
style and how I would want to tackle races. So I didn't want in my brain be too competitive. I've still kind of not taking it easy, because you are out there and you want to do the best you can do, and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously challenge yourself because you're aware of who's faster, who you're close to with your running. So I feel like you know you're in a race, but with me it's like I know I'm in the race, but I'm always just excited just to get to the different rigs. And I'm not like, if someone runs past me, my brain doesn't switch on and go, I've got to chase them down. I'm just going to do me. Like, you do you, I'll do me.
Mm,
And where I finish, I finish. And it's kind of how I took on this season. And I think it worked for me in a way because I didn't put too much pressure on myself. Like, there's always pressure where you want to do your best within a race. And if you like, there was a few races I'd done last year. So it was like, I wanted to do better in that race, maybe just faster in my running as like, and just see how much I've improved from the previous
mm,
time I'd done it. So there's that little element, but I didn't see myself as like, oh, I'm going to enter this race. So and so is going to be there. I've got to beat them. That wasn't my mindset. It was just, I want to enjoy the race and have fun. Yeah. So it's a mixture, but I'm always being more focused on myself opposed to like the competition.
mm. And how do you like how do you deal with work and kind of competing in OCR? So what do you do as work, and like how do you kind of merge the two?
So I'm a postwoman, so I do a lot of walking and yeah, so I'm just delivering parcels and walking around a lot. So I'm quite lucky in that aspect because I go in early and I'm finished by like around midday, so 1, 2-ish, depending on how heavy it is. And I get to go gym straight away. So, and because the time I
Mm.
get to go gym, it's not as busy, so I still get to play around in the gym. Like a lot of people know me for I have like not a strange style of training, but I just like to do random things in the gym and play around, whether it be with like box jumps or just creating these little crazy exercises. So everyone's kind of knows when I'm in the gym, like they see me or they. I always joke that whenever I'm in the gym, someone will always ask me if it's okay to use one of the boxes because they just assume I'm just always going to like have it occupied. But I'm like, no, I'm not using it at the moment and stuff because I like my plyometric stuff. I love jumping and whether it's like on the bars to do pull-ups and stuff, I'm always playing around. So I think I'm lucky how work's structured to allow me to get to the gym and still train and not feel like I'm forcing training into my day.
How do you how do you structure so let's say there's a race coming up. How do you structure your training for that? Like, do you already are you already told what's in the course, and then therefore you kind of plan your training according to what's in the course, or is it just random, or um yeah, or do you just have like a normal routine that you kind of stick to where you just throw in kind of like, the odd kind of quirky plyo exercise or
So um, I'd say my structure of training kind of it. I don't tend to switch it up too much. I just, I kind of just train like based on my goals that I want to achieve, like in general fitness, just getting stronger as an all round like individual, not necessarily focused just on the OCR, but just fitness in general. And then
Mhm.
I've all like even before I was aware of OCR, I was training my grip without even realize I was training grip. Just whether that had been just because the heavy deadlifts I was doing or an old gym I was at had like a calisthenics part of the gym, so they had monkey bars on in the setup, and I just find myself swinging around or like hanging doing hip flexor works with kettlebells on my feet and stuff. So I ended up
Mm.
building up my grip before I'd got into OCR. So I had quite good grip strength and it's always been in my training. So I kind of, I've improved it a lot more because now I get to train at fitness centers that have the rigs. And so you're constantly hanging and strengthening that. So Thursday nights, that's where I specifically train obstacle style horse racing. And then in general in the gym, it's just about getting stronger, whether it be like my leg workouts. I don't train my arms as much as I should do. I used to train arms like years ago. I used to fit it in. It used to be a regular like day. I'd train just arms, but that's probably the one thing. It's not specific arm day. It's more legs, core, and back. And then when it comes to races, we once we know like which races are coming, and now I'm more like used to the sport and how the structure is, especially in the UK. You're aware of what type of course it will be because they probably put on races before, so you have a rough idea. And then they'll release like a course map. So you'll have an idea of distance because you've got two. There's a short course which is normally 3K. There's a standard course which can be from 12K to 15K, or like there's longer races as well. But you get a course map which will give you a rough layout of the running sections and what obstacles will come. So you know roughly what you're going to be facing in the races, and then it's just as long as you've worked on your grip strength, you can sometimes depending on how big the competition is, some of our race different race centers will put on like events where they do race sims. So they try and like emulate
Mm.
some of the obstacles you're going to face within a race, and then you run the distance and
Mm.
practice the rigs that might pop up. Because some people find like there might be something they're worried about because they've never. Because sometimes it's a new rig that someone's created out of nowhere, and the style of the setup. So the race sim helps for you to just get like an idea of how you'll tackle it and give you a better idea of like when you come across it in the race how you're gonna get yourself through it and just like get that muscle memory of how it feels. And because you sometimes you can't always emulate the rig precisely because it might be new attachments
Mm.
that a brand's created. So we've got those like options and that helps. So with my training I don't try and change my training too much. Like I've added more running into my training because I've not been going football as much. So I've just making sure I'm getting running, and I actually recently joined my dad's running team just to have a little bit of that community running because when it's late now it's getting darker and you don't really want to go out on your own running. It's just the motivation of I can do it, but I'm not going to push myself to run fast when I'm on my own. So if you're around other people, you it helps you push yourself through your training runs.
Because you've had like a history of football, and OCR in a way is kind of like community based team. Well, I wouldn't say team. It's not always team based, but it seems like it's community based. Like, do you prefer training and like kind of competing amongst people as opposed to training by yourself in the gym?
A mixture. I like if I'm in the gym itself, I kind of like training on my own because you
Mm-hmm.
can just do your own thing in the gym. But on like Thursday nights when I go down to my training centre, it's called Rumble. It's the team I race with, so like that's my UK team that I compete for in the series, and we'll do like sometimes we do like little circuits where we're doing it as a team based, and I enjoy that as well because it's like you're getting to train
Mm.
with your teammates, push each other, like help each other, like work hard through that sort of training session before we go off and then start drilling the obstacles together. So it's like a mixture of both. I feel like I'm lucky because I just get to do my stuff in the gym on my own because I like to play and
Mm.
because I'm like a big kid who will be doing something and I'll be doing deadlifts, and before you know it, I'm jumping across like the monkey bars or doing something random between what should be my rest period. So if I was to train with someone
Mm.
else, it wouldn't work in my like
Mm.
day-to-day gym sessions because I just like to play and
Mm.
just have fun. Like I push myself, but I'm always creating crazy little exercises and stuff. So it's like you couldn't do that if you was training with someone else because depending if they're a bit like you, but not everyone's trains how I train. So it's harder in that
Yeah,
aspect.
yeah. So part of the kind of the longer podcast I want to put together is about the idea that the reason why people don't stay consistent with their training is because they end up finding it quite boring. So this kind of playfulness that you're talking about is I don't know, sometimes I think it's like an inbuilt thing that keeps you playful, keeps you interested,
Yeah.
keeps stuff novel, but like in a good way. So like like there's only so many bicep curls you can do, but then you can do pull-ups in a certain way, and you can like what you were talking about with the deadlifts, like you can from the deadlifts you're then hanging off something else. Like I think a lot of people's issue with training and staying committed is because they don't find the playful element to it. They don't find the fun element in it. They view it as a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like, have you seen like people that you've trained with kind of, I'm guessing not everybody that you train with has like a similar sporting history to you. So is there anybody that you've trained with that you've actually seen bloom? Like they've literally, come in to been curious about OCR, and they're kind of like their characters change. They've become, kind of more kind of positive, more kind of outspoken. Have you noticed anything like that?
I think you generally do notice it because even when I came into sport, there's girls that have been in the sport a bit longer than me, and they might not have been as confident on certain rigs, and maybe because they're just still building up their strength and stuff. And then so I've noticed, and I think you see it with everyone where you see their improvements and where they're more confident when they get to races, and not even the fact that maybe they've got stronger or they can do more. It's just because they've been in the community and the way how everyone encourages each other. Because back to how you said about when you're in the race and like you're being competitive, but you're still trying to have fun. Even when you're in the race and we're all on different teams, and you can be about to enter a rig and someone's like maybe just ahead of you or they're running past you because of the way how some of the courses loop back on each other. You'll get encouragement from someone else. You'll be just about to enter something and someone's encouraged you just to keep going or don't stop, or and you're on opposite teams, but everyone's so supportive, even though you know you're there earning points for your team. You'll be on course. You might fall off a rig, or it might be multiple attempts, and then someone will run past and they'll encourage you, or even just shout, "Just breathe, be calm." Just little words of encouragement to get you through the course, even though they're struggling or because they're pushing themselves and they're in a totally different battle. We're all cheering each other on to get round the course, and then you notice how people come to a race, or they might even just comment, or because we're all on Instagram as well, you get a message from someone who's like, "Oh, thanks for helping me with that rig," or "I couldn't get across it," and your words of like encouragement or little tip help me get across that, or help me improve on something. And it's just those little things. So you see it a lot. And one of my teammates, Lou, she has like her own little fitness center that's for obstacles, and she trains like juniors, so she trains like the younger kids. And so I help her out on Mondays. And recently, like there's like we call it like the Strong Girls Club. They're like 8, 9, and some of them, like you can imagine little girls, "Oh, I don't want to hang off that," or "I can't, like my hands, my nails," just little things. But then the next week you'll see them hanging off it for like 10 seconds longer, and they run up to you like, "I've just done this." And recently, last Monday, just gone, one of the girls, she was scared to hang off anything. And then even just hanging off 2 rings together, she just wouldn't do it. And Monday just gone, she held a ring, she swung to the next one, she's holding it. She's like, "Look, I can do it." And then she managed to
Yeah.
traverse off that and match onto the ring, and she was so happy with herself. And you notice that strength, especially with kids, you probably see it a lot more, the progression they make and their confidence, because it's just how they light up, and then they call you over and they're like, "Oh, look, come and see what I can do now." And it's just those little things that you see how much they're just trusting themselves and overcoming fear, because some of these rigs to them are twice the size of them, and them falling and just landing on their feet is a big like fear that they're trying to overcome just to get comfortable. And especially with the younger girls, like the younger boys, they're fearless. They'll swing off anything, but the
Mm-hmm.
girls, it's a totally different story. And just seeing them going from hanging off the monkey bars, or they'll just start moving across them, and you see it. You see the little progressions and the confidence in themselves, especially when their parents come and pick them up, and then they're asking their parents to watch and film, so they've got that footage of themselves overcoming something so they can show their friends.
Is that what you'd want to? Like, I saw you light up as you were saying that. Is that what you'd want to see more of? Would you want to see more kind of OCR clubs for young women? Um, is there any other things in the OCR community that you'd want to see in the future?
Yeah, I think it's growing, and I think the kids, it's kind of they'll see it and they'll join in. And as I say, like the younger boys, they'll do. You little boys, they're just fearless in general, so they'll attempt anything, and even if they do fall, they get excited about falling. Like, oh, it didn't hurt. Then they'll just even reenact the way how they fell because it was funny. But I think we want to see more younger girls just want to get involved, and because then it grows the sport. Because essentially, it's the kids that are gonna allow a sport like this to continue and progress and get bigger and better because they're the next generation. And so you want to encourage, in general, I think, getting more females involved, whether they're younger or older like me, just having a go. Because you do notice like someone will come to the sport for the first time. They might not get through it, but then just having someone else who's been there or done one more race than them and just supported them and encouraged them, the way how they feel afterwards is just a massive boost to themselves, and just someone who's knows that they've helped someone else just feel a bit more confident that they can get around the race, whether they've ran, walked, you've still accomplished something and you've still gone out there and you realize that how much you enjoyed yourself.
What would you want to see, like in terms of your like your space in OCR? Would you want to go into, I don't know, like the kind of, before you mentioned the federation, would you want to go into the kind of federation side of things in a couple of years' time? Would you want to get into the kind of training and tutoring people? Is there a space that you see for yourself in the future of OCR?
Yeah, I think coaching appeals to me a lot, and just helping people improve. And I really like just helping people and seeing them overcome and just getting stronger and attempting something on the rig. And like it's just those little things, even when we're just with our mates, that there's a lot of us like friends who just train together now. We're on different teams, but everyone just gets along, and we'll go to a training center and just create little mini challenges. And it can be like, for instance, like pull up, but you can do like, you like do pull ups, but you pop up to a bar or something, and then seeing someone say, "Oh, I
Mm.
can't do that," and then they give it a couple of goes and like kind of walk themselves through it, and then all of a sudden they're doing it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can do it!" And it's just I like seeing that. So I think coaching would be like a avenue that I'd like to continue, like try and continue in, and just helping people, whether even if it's just in general, like don't necessarily have to be a coach, but just helping people in general to improve and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be a
I,
route for me.
I should have asked you earlier. Like, what are your achievements and accolades in obstacle course racing? Like, what competitions have you won? What times have you beaten? Is there anything like that you can tell us?
I'd say the biggest I could say achievement for this year. This is my first full season. I finished the series in second place, which I feel like is really big just for my first season, considering I didn't go out to be super competitive. I didn't think I'd rank up so high in my first season, like first full season, and I think that for me is like a big accomplishment. And one of my best race. Well, I wouldn't even say it's my best race, but one of my favorite races was a race in Netherlands. That's another place I went to. I forgot about that one. I came third in a race called Hang On Run, and this race is like they're known as survival runs. They just do like extremely long like rope rigs, and it's a race that really tests your grip endurance, and you've got to really have like strong grip endurance to get through the race because it's multiple attempts, but it's a lot on your arms because it's just like you'll run a bit and then it's just long sections of a rig after a rig after a rig. And I ended up coming third in that race last year, and I was still fairly new, so I didn't even really know what the race was truly about. Everyone just said, "You're gonna die." And I got there and I was just having fun running around, laughing. And one of our teammates was out there, his mum was with him, and she was just like, "You're just smiling and having fun, and like you don't even look like you're crying." And I was like, I just love I just love rigs. So because there was so many of them, it was like over 90 obstacles in a 12K race, which is a lot of obstacles in a single race. when I was literally just having fun and just getting around the course. And yeah, and I ended up, I didn't know I finished at third. My teammate at the end was like, just go check your results because I think you might be on a podium. And I went and asked one of the guys in the timing booths, and he was like, "Yeah, you've missed the podium, but you did come third." And it was just like it was such a good accomplishment because I think I'm the first UK athlete to ever get a like podium at this race, and yeah, and
Mm,
I didn't retry any of the obstacles. I got through everyone first time, so it was like yeah, and my arms
mm,
felt really good at the end. I just wanted to continue playing, but you weren't really allowed to go back on the course because everyone was still running and racing, and a couple of my teammates were still out on course trying to get through it, and they had a couple of problems because there's a rig that goes in the water, it goes over water, but if you fall in, and because it's
mm,
November, like the end of November, it was really cold. So they fall in the water
mm.
and yeah, then struggled for the last section. And I'm just there wanting to get back on the rigs, having fun. And yeah, it was a really good experience. Such a cool race to do. I'm going back in a couple of weeks to do it again. But yeah, that was one of my favorite races, and it was a race where I was literally just having fun and just enjoying it, being there. And then I ended up getting a podium at the same time. So it's a really good race for me. I've had a few more, that couple of like second places, and I've got a first at another race in the UK that it's called the Beast at the Body Hub. So he kind of set up a similar grip torturing. It was a 6K race, but high intensity on the rigs again, and they seem to be my favourite styles of races. Like the more rigs, the better for me. And yeah, so there's been a few. I've had a few more different. Like I went to the Spanish champs in Spain, so it's like their um championships for them to like qualify for I think the Worlds or Euros at the time. And in our international race, I ended up finished first and out of the international athletes, which was yeah, didn't expect it. One of my friends I was with, she was like, "If you check the results," I was like, I don't check the results. I'm just here to have fun." And then and then we checked the results and I ended up finishing first. And yeah, so it's always, I think if you're just having fun, you perform better than you expect sometimes. Because sometimes I think, especially like there's certain sports where you can't, you have to be a level of seriousness. But I think in obstacle course racing, you can have fun and still do well and just enjoy it and not put too much pressure. Yeah, I think my best races have been the ones where I've just gone out and had fun and not thought about the end result.
What are the opportunities for like, like podium winners? Is there like, are there sponsorship deals? Is there prize money? Is like what are the, other than the fun of competing in it? What other rewards can you get?
Sometimes there's prizes and stuff. The UK races, there's not much prize money at the moment. They're working on it, but because it's still a growing sport in the UK, there's not much opportunities to win prize money. I think because I'm second in the series, I will get some prize money for that. But in our like the general races, it's like little like prizes, like depending on what sponsors they've maybe got to assist in the races. You might get gifts from them. A lot of the international races, there's a few races out there where you might get prize money, and I think Spartan's more known for their races are more known for giving out prize money. They're bigger races. But yeah, I think the UK is still developing and growing to be able to pay us for every race. But sponsorship, I'd love to someone just out there to just come and want to sponsor me to race because it's an expensive sport and a lot of the entry fees to race is a lot. But apart from that, I've my main incentive is just having fun because I'm not getting paid. I'm just enjoying it. Obviously, you'd love to have the opportunity to win prize money for like getting on a podium, but it's not the case at the moment. But fingers crossed for the future.
Well, I mean, it may change. Like you're talking about having fun and enjoying the courses. Maybe a problem is like you inject a bit of money into these things and it changes the passion and the love for it. Is that a possibility?
I think like I've heard a few athletes talk about it because there is like it's international athletes that I've met that they've managed to turn OCR into like their profession. That's what they do. It's like, but they've ended up with like companies that are able to sponsor them and like support them to be able to do that. And the UK is working on it. Like our federation, British Obstacle Sports, is it's done a lot and it's like growing to help like us as athletes get involved in it and have the opportunities to compete and compete internationally as well to get out there and be noticed. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of work that's behind the scenes that's still getting done to allow it to be that type of sport where you are being paid. I think it will if you are getting paid and you know there's opportunities to win like prize money. Obviously, that will definitely make it more competitive because everyone would want to win prize money. It's like that's a no-brainer. But I don't know. I guess it's on your own mindset as well because you can still go out there, compete, have fun, knowing there's prize money, but not let it be the be all and end all. Yeah. So I feel like even if there's some races I knew there's some prizes or like there might be sponsors where they give out like a good couple of prizes that are worth it. Maybe it's just like gift vouchers or stuff, but you know that's there. But I don't know if it's like everyone's main incentive for going out there and racing. And I think it's just I think it generally is mindset and the type of person you are really. But I think there's no doubt that if you asked anyone, they wouldn't go, "Oh, I'd love to be paid." Like I wouldn't. I don't think anyone's going to turn down the
Mm.
opportunity to be paid to compete and essentially play on obstacles as a career. Like that
Yeah,
would be that would be the dream. That would be
yeah,
the dream. But
yeah,
I think like personally at the moment, I would love that opportunity because you everyone would love to give up their day job and know that they could wake up, train, and then get sent across the world to enter different races to compete, keep competing. Like that would be an ultimate goal. But I don't know if I don't think for me personally it would take the fun out of it. I feel like I'd still have fun and
okay,
still enjoy.
okay, all right. We're almost coming to the hour now. So is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to say about OCR? Anything that you don't often get the opportunity to say in interviews and stuff?
We've covered everything. I think yeah, the main things is just like obviously like building the awareness, and I think the more people are aware that they can go out and actually like do races and enjoy it, like because I think everywhere, most countries, and they have like the ninja parks where the kids can go and play, but I don't think everyone's as aware that they have these races that are on a bigger scale outside, and yeah, some of them involve mud and water, but it's like the community itself is like such a welcoming place, and just being able to experience new courses and like for me, I've had the opportunity to go to different countries now and experience different cultures as well as racing and having fun and meeting new people from all different like corners of the world. And like yeah, I think like the more people are aware, the more it grows and the bigger and better like every event gets around the world. Yeah, I think that's the main thing because I think I can't remember what year it is, but it's to do with the pentathlon. But part of the 100-meter course, they've got like a pentathlon course. And, in the pentathlon, sorry, they're introducing the ninja element of the 100-meter course into their their race. So it'd be one of the elements of pentathlon instead of the horse riding. Yeah, at the Olympics. So I feel like it's even though it's not the essential like OCR style of racing, it's the element, it's the ninja element, but it it's going to help people take notice more and see it, and hopefully other elements of OCR can find their way into the Olympics in the future.
How long do you give yourself for competing? How many more years do you reckon you've got in you?
Um, I think keep going for like 10 plus years or more, because they have like masters categories which go 60 plus, I think. Yeah, so I think I've got good, good 30 years. As long as the body keeps working. I feel like with being like physically fit and active, as long as you don't stop, and obviously like touch wood, don't get any serious injuries, you can keep being active for your whole life. Like I don't think there's any like the work like society in some elements would have you believe like there comes a point where your body stops working, but I personally don't believe that's the case. I believe like as long as you maintain fitness, keep being active in general, then your body will keep working for you as long as you need it to.
Nice, nice. Well, for me, to be honest, I haven't spoken to many people in the OCR kind of scene, but you sound very much like an ambassador. You sound
Thank
like
you.
somebody that should kind of like should speak about the sport and kind of promote it, and you should get sponsored and paid for that as well.
Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yes, we need to chat to the federation, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice. So, what does the rest of the day hold for you?
I'm gonna head down to place in Aylesbury. It's about an hour and 20, depending on traffic. And then I get there a bit earlier because I go on like say a long run, about 10K, and I go into actual
Mm.
training, which can be, I had a bit of run into it, but mainly it's working on the obstacles. So building the grip endurance and yeah, getting stronger with it for my races. I'm more or
So,
less in off season, but I've only got my race in Netherlands to come, and then we've got our British champs for the 100-meter course, which is the ninja style course in December.
mm.
So my last two races of the year.
Is that typical of your having to travel to like training facilities, like an hour plus journey?
Yeah, where I'm based, because I'm in Slough, so every the two closest centres for me, there's a couple, but I think they're all like an hour plus, about hour 20 depending. The closest one is the one in Swindon, True Function, but that's more ninja based. That's an hour. And then Ellsbury's the team I train for, like the team I run for, Rumble Fitness. It's just about it's an hour on the way back because there's no traffic, but about an hour 20 on the way there because it's at peak times to travel. Everyone's either finishing school or traveling like back from work, so that's about an hour 20 to get there. Yeah, so most obstacle places are about hour 20. The furthest is probably 3 hours, 2.5 hours. But yeah, I'm not as lucky as some that are a bit closer based because like there's a few people who are based like a bit closer to their training centres. Yeah, they only have to travel like maybe 20, 40 minutes sometimes. But that's the other thing, like we want more people to be like it'd be good like if it grew and then more people were aware, then more training centres could open to allow people to train and compete because that's the other thing of if there's no awareness, no one can get to them, and then these businesses can't survive because obviously they have to the cost of keeping a place open is hard. I do have Lou, my friend Lou. Her training centre is only like 20 minutes away, but obviously she's running a business, so I can't always go down there and train. She like does a fitness instructor and stuff down there as well. So we set up training together occasionally, but yeah, everywhere's about an hour drive, so everything's pricey in a way because you're covering yourself with traveling, and then you enter races, which it just all builds up, and that's on top of just keeping yourself in the kit and having the trainers to actually, because obviously where it's trail running, you need civic trainers to run in. So it's an expensive sport.
Mm, mm. Oh man, well, you're it shows that it's a passion because, for you to kind of travel, an hour plus to facilities, and I guess you're covering the cost of your travel to go to competitions as well.
Yeah,
Like it shows how much of a passion it is for you.
yeah. I love it. It's just fun. Like you keep them fit, but you're just having fun, and then you get to obviously do it with other people. So it's not like an individual. Obviously when you're racing, it's an individual element to it because you're out there doing it on your own. But as I said, like even though you're running against other people, everyone's supporting you and encouraging you to get around the course as best as you can. And even if you get ahead of them in the races, it's like they're still encouraging you. Like if you get to the rig before them, they're just like breathe, be calm, because we all become aware of everyone's strengths and like weaknesses. Like especially with me in water, like if we're approaching water in a race, everyone's just like, "You've got this, just breathe," and just yeah. So it's just like so much different cool elements. But
Okay, well, I'm gonna. So I've got so many things on my bucket list when it comes to trying stuff out, and like OCR's kind of been it's been in the top five for a
yeah,
little while. I'm like, I've got kettlebell juggling's one thing that I want to kind of
I
get
actually
kind of
want to
used
try
to.
that. But if you started
Oh man,
it, it
uh,
looks so cool. Yeah,
kind of, yeah. It looks. I interviewed a guy called Colin Daring, and he's just in like a guy. He's from New York, and he's just insane with the way he juggles stuff. And there's a lady from his crew called Dana who I'm interviewing in a couple of weeks' time, and the stuff these guys do, it's beautiful. It's just dance.
yeah, it's
But yeah, then
incredible
there's
because it
also
just floats.
the yeah. And it appeals to that. I guess it would appeal, like it appeals to the kind of the novel side of training, and
Yeah,
I guess like you like the novel side of training too. But yeah, also obstacle course racing. I remember the days of Ninja Warrior. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then something came up and I didn't. And before that, Gladiators was the one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then life gets in the way, and
yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna have to make some time for it because I love it. I love to like watch like the way you train. The video that I posted of yours the other day, I kind of reposted in stories. I just that kind of like gliding, like
yeah.
it just looked it looked
That
so
was
much fun.
that was in the
Um,
training center I'm going to later, Rumble. Yeah, so
okay,
I'm
okay,
there tonight, and
all right,
then we've got a training like a race sim, because we're a lot of the guys from Rumble. We're all going down to hang on together. So we're putting on our coach
okay.
Dave. He's put on like a race sim on Saturday, so it'd be like he's going to set up some really long rigs and obviously running involved as well. But yeah, so it's a training day, but it's gonna for me. It's just gonna be like a fun training day. Like I just love having like in my brain, it's not training. It's just another opportunity to play. But you your
Mm.
fitness improves. You get stronger. You feel like you're dead by the end of it sometimes, but as soon as you stop and recover after 10 minutes, you just want to go again. Well, I do. Not everyone does, but I do.
Wicked, wicked. Well, enjoy the training session this evening.
Thank you.
I'm gonna I'm gonna put some snippets of this together and put it up on the physical Instagram page, and then in time I'll kind of create this longer audio podcast story, and I'll give you the heads up on each of them.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I want to thank you for your time. I'm so glad we got to do this, and it's been wicked chatting to you as well.
Yeah, it was really good. Thank you. Thank you for messaging me to have a chat.
No worries, no worries. Well, yeah, have fun tonight, and yes, don't. Well, I was going to say don't go too hard, but you enjoy it. You
I,
enjoy it. So
I
yeah,
will.
you carry on.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, Shylla, take it easy. Yeah.
Yeah, you too. See you later.
All right. Yeah. Bye.